Hello everybody, it's Non-Scene News here, and today we've got a lot of broken updates today. So let's just get started in Kazakhstan. We've got news that in Kazakhstan, the Unbreakable Brotherhood 2024 CS2 military drills has just finished. So in total, the exercise involved more than 2,000 troops, 500 units of armoured and motor vehicles, Mi-17 and Mi-35 helicopters, Li-76 and C-295 aircraft and unmanned aerial vehicles. So the CS2 military drills has just ended in Kazakhstan, so we'll be getting no more news about this military drills. So very interesting news, and let's head to Moscow really quickly, where we've got news that President Putin celebrates his 72nd birthday. So the Tajikistan president, so this country here, so the Tajikistan president will be visiting Moscow for Putin's birthday on October the 7th, so today. And the Belarusian president Alexander Lukashenko also praised Minsk and Moscow relations while congratulating Vladimir Putin on his 72nd birthday. We've also got news that the Russian RS-24 Yars nuclear missile systems go on combat patrol in Novosibirsk. I think that's how you pronounce the city's name, but this city here, the RS-24 Yars strategic missiles are part of Russia's strategic arsenal. It is a road mobile or silo-based launch system, with each missile capable of carrying up to 3 warheads and up to 2,000 kilotons yield. Russia possesses about 772 warheads of these missiles. So Russia is doing active patrols on the Russian RS-24 Yars nuclear missile systems. So very concerning news. We've also got news that a Russian IL-76 lands in Syria. So a Russian IL-76 military transport aircraft flew from Moscow and landed in Syria. And this is probably, this plane or this cargo jet is probably holding armaments or like ammunition and weapons for the Russian army in Syria, but it has landed and it's probably resupplying the Russian army there, or the Syrian army there. We've also got news that Syria has also applied to join BRICS. The Syrian ambassador to Russia told Russian media. So Syria has officially applied to join BRICS. Now let's head back to Russia, where we've got news that the dollar will soar to 100 rubles by the new year, predicted by Igor Nikolaev, the chief researcher at the Institute of Economics of the Russian Academy of Science. The ruble will weaken and this trend will continue, the expert notes. So the chief researcher at the Institute of Economics of the Russian Academy of Science believes that the Russian ruble will decrease in value. So interesting news. We will also go into Ukraine, where we've got news that the Sweden published videos of the Panzer Bandvag 302 APCs being sent to Ukraine. So if you can see this train in here in your bottom left corner, these vehicles are comparable to the American M113, and these Swedish armoured vehicles were retired in the year 2000 and were placed in reserve. So it seems that Sweden has just taken these vehicles out of stockpile and they are going to be sent to Ukraine. So big news. We've also got news that the Dutch Defence Minister Ruben visited the Kharkiv region. So he stated that I saw the aftermath of the devastating Russian shelling and destroyed apartments, power outages, and how children are studying in bunkers. And he said that Ukraine can only defend itself from all of this in one way, by keeping Russia at a greater distance, the minister said. And the Dutch defense minister also stated that Ukraine has received its first F-16 fighter jets from the Netherlands, with the remaining 24 aircraft to be delivered soon, according to the Dutch defense minister. He also announced a €400 million investment for the joint development and production of attack and reconnaissance drones with Ukraine. So the Dutch defense minister has stated that for the first time, he said he can officially announce that the first Dutch F-16s have been delivered to Ukraine. So, big news. We've also got news that the former Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Zaluzhny, said that he is against the mobilization of men aged 18 to 25. He said that we need Ukraine in 20 years and in 30 years. We've also got news that NATO is considering concrete steps on Ukraine's accession at the Ramstein summit, the Washington Post reports. So we've got news in the Ramstein meeting that will be coming up soon in Germany, or a NATO base in Germany, that NATO will be considering concrete steps for Ukraine to join NATO. The next news is coming from Latvia, where we've got news that Sweden is preparing to send its military to Latvia. Around 600 Swedish troops will be deployed to Latvia in a few months to join NATO's ground forces as part of a brigade led by Canada. In January, armoured vehicles and hundreds of soldiers will be transferred to Latvia, marking the first operation of the Swedish army within NATO. The next news is coming from the Slovakian Prime Minister, Fico. So he stated that the war in Ukraine continues only because the West wants to bring the Russians to their knees, says the Slovakian Prime Minister Fico. According to him, the Russian-Ukrainian conflict is a war which Slavs are dying, and Europe is supporting this bloodshed, according to the Slovak Prime Minister. The next news is coming from Germany, where we've got news that the German authorities plan to pay €1,000 to welfare recipients who work for at least 1 year. The government of Germany believes this will motivate people to find jobs. However, not everyone supports the initiative. Members of the CSU, the Christian Social Union, opposes the idea, calling it a mockery of those who have worked for many years. So the German authorities plan to pay €1,000 to welfare for those who work for at least 1 year. We've also got news coming from Bosnia-Herzegovina. So we talked a bit about this yesterday, how Bosnia is struggling in the aftermath of the deadly floods. So excavators are still shifting and removing the rubble that swept through the villages in Bosnia after the weekend's horrific flooding that left at least 19 people dead after 4 months worth of rain fell in a few hours. So Bosnia is still trying to clear everything up, and I'll keep you updated on that. We've also got news coming from Greta Thunberg. I think that's how you pronounce her name, but she has been detained in a climate protest in Brussels. So Greta Thunberg was detained by police during a demonstration against fossil fuels in Brussels. The activist was participating in sitting on roads, so she was detained and arrested. So now let's head to the UK, where we've got news that nearly 1,000 migrants have crossed the English Channel to the UK in a single day, the highest number this year. So on Saturday, the UK registered a record number of migrants arrivals for 2024, with people illegally crossing the channel in small boats on October the 5th to October the 17th. So boats filled with migrants reached British shores, bringing a total of 973 people on the highest daily count for this year. So the previous record for 2024 was set on June 18th with 882 people arrived. So now it's been replaced with 973 migrants have arrived in the United Kingdom in a single day. So big news. Now let's head to Israel, where we've got news that flags across Israel have been lowered to half staff in honor of those who lost their lives in the October 7th massacre and those who have lost their lives during the war in Gaza since. So if you can see here in your bottom left corner, we can see flags across Israel being lowered to half staff to remember those who died at the October 7th music festival. So you can see here in the bottom left corner, families and friends of those who were killed at the Nova Music Festival gathered at the site of the attack 1 year on. So very, very sad news. And now let's head to Gaza, where we've got news that the UN estimates say that 2/3 of all structures in the Gaza Strip have been totally or partially destroyed, leaving rubber packed with decomposing bodies, stated the UN. The operation to clear the monumental mountains of rubble equivalent in mass to 11 Great Pyramids of Giza. This could take 14 years and a cost to $1.2 billion to clean up. So this was stated by the UN estimates. And the next news we're going to be talking about is the Israeli city of Haifa. So the Israeli city of Haifa experienced a Hezbollah rocket attack. So if you can see here and here in your bottom left corner, we can hear the Hezbollah rockets hit this city. So at least 5 people were wounded by the shrapnel, but none are considered to be life-threatening. So very interesting news. We've also gotten scenes of the aftermath of the Hezbollah rocket attack. So we can see here on the bottom left corner, we can see it hit like the roads and caused a crater. The next news is coming from the Israeli city of Beersheba. So we got news that this city has experienced a terrorist or a stabbing attack. So in the previous 24 hours, a person with a knife went around stabbing people randomly. So there's been an update on the casualties. So about 1 person has been confirmed dead as a result of these stabbings, and 9 people wounded in stabbing attack. So the stabber, the killer, was eventually shot, so he was killed. So very sad news. So people were saying this is a terrorist attack. So very big news. We've also got news that the Israeli armed forces, so the Israeli defense forces, captures weapons and equipment of Hezbollah's Radwan elite forces during operation and ground maneuvers in the southern Lebanon. So we can see here in the bottom left corner, the IDF publishes more videos of captured Hezbollah equipment. So very big news. We've also got news and footage of Israeli airstrikes across Lebanon. So footage has arisen of Israeli airstrikes destroying Hezbollah warehouses in Lebanon. So these are ammunition depots. If you can see in this video, we can see obviously the second detonations. We can see second detonations. So it seems that Israel completely destroyed this ammunition warehouse or this ammunition depot. We've also gotten some announcements coming from Lebanon that Lebanon says that the country will be postponing the start of the school year as Israel escalates its airstrike against Lebanese militant group Hezbollah. So the school year in Lebanon will be postponed. Now let's talk a little bit about Iran. So we've gotten some stuff released by some sources, some information about future or possible Israeli attacks. So if you can see here in the bottom left corner, this map outlines key Iranian facilities that could be targeted by an Israeli strike. Nuclear production facilities are marked in blue, while oil industries are marked in orange. So you can see here in the bottom left corner, we can see all of the possible Israeli strikes that can possibly happen in the future. We've also got news, according to Israeli Channel 12 News, that Israel is considering destroying and razing down Iranian oil facilities during the incoming operation. The next news is coming from Sudan, where we've got news that soldiers of the Sudanese military drove around what's left of the northern part of Sudan's capital city here. So, following their recent campaign against the paramilitary group of RSF. So you can see here in the bottom left corner, the Sudanese army celebrates the recent capture of the northern part of Sudan's capital city. So the civil war has been undergoing since April and has caused massive devastation to Sudan's capital city, as this video clearly shows here in your bottom left corner. So the Sudanese army celebrates at this moment of their victory in the northern part of its capital here. So very interesting news. Now we've got news coming from Somalia that Somalia authorities announced killing of 47 al-Shabaab militants in military operation. So the Somali authorities have reported the killing of 47 militants from the Al-Qaeda linked Al-Shabaab group during military operations in this exact region highlighted in red. So very interesting news. We've also got news coming from the Democratic Republic of Congo. So the Democratic Republic of Congo kicks off vaccinations against monkeypox following delays. So after delays due to logistic difficulties, the Congolese authorities have started administrating vaccines against monkeypox in attempts to curb the outbreak into a global virus, a global catastrophe. So 265,000 doses were given to the DRC, so the Democratic Republic of Congo, and it is being given out to most people. Now let's head to the Maldives and India. So we've got news that the Maldives president has just arrived in India. So if you don't know where the Maldives are, it's this island nation here. So the Maldives president has arrived in New Delhi on the request of the Prime Minister of India. So the Maldives president Mohammed has arrived in New Delhi for a state visit at the invitation of Prime Minister Modi of India. So I'll keep you updated if anything happens there. The next news is coming from the president of Taiwan. So the president of Taiwan stated that mainland China is not Taiwan's homeland, stated by Lan Ching-ti, the president of Taiwan. He stated that his country has political roots older than the People's Republic of China, so mainland China. And the next news is coming from the People's Republic of China, that China is planting in the desert. So we've got news that China is planting tomatoes in the desert. So we can see here in the bottom left corner, China is undergoing a big operation in the Xinjiang desert. And apparently they are planting tomatoes. So I'll keep you updated on that. We've also got news coming from Beijing that, if we can see here in the bottom left corner, we can see drones of Vladimir Putin saying happy birthday. So apparently China has congratulated Putin on his birthday, launching a lot of drones that make his image in the sky. And we've got news coming from Bolivia, so the South American country here on the Bolivian part of the Amazon rainforests. So apparently over 20 houses were turned almost to ash in the Bolivian Amazon region. So forest fires have reportedly already destroyed 2 million hectares of grassland and primarily forests in 3 months. The Bolivian president declared the situation a natural disaster earlier last week. So very big news. So it seems Bolivia is undergoing a really harsh fire damages in the country. And the next news is coming from America. So the last news coming from America is that the FBI and the DHS warns for a possible terror attack in the US on October the 7th anniversary. So the anniversary of October 7th, 2023 Hamas attack may motivate individuals to violence in the United States, stated the FBI. So this was posted by Breaking 9/11. So very interesting news. And the next news is coming from Florida that another hurricane seems to be heading towards Florida again. So if you can see here in your bottom left corner, there's been some suggestions and some statistics that Florida is about to experience another hurricane, and I'll keep you updated on that. We've also got news that Donald Trump is hosting a Trump rally in Pennsylvania, and that Elon Musk actually took the stage on the Trump rally. So very interesting news. And that's all the news I actually have for you today. Sorry, I can't fit absolutely everything in today. It's been very busy. I also have a full-time job, so it's very hard to actually record these. I'm recording this at 3:50 in the morning. But thank you for 2,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. And thank you for all those who have joined. But I am non-scene news. I will try and provide you news that medias around the world do not show you. I do these videos hopefully daily, so consider subscribing and liking. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye.